you think they'd be mad if I climbed their ladder? Acoustasonic Corporate's watching this, I'm sorry, but... Oh yeah. It's a pretty big chunk out of the neck there. I mean, does that really matter though? Perfect. Maybe he'll give me a little extra off because it's got the big gash in the neck. So you played one of these before?
I played one, and I played the Jazzmaster one, obviously. It was like, I see what they're going after. Not really my bag. Don't want one that does both. Just want one.
So a few years ago, Fender released the Acoustasonic series of guitars, starting with the American-made Acoustasonic Telecaster. And I have not been the biggest fan of those guitars. I think they're kind of weird. I don't think they sound good as an acoustic or an electric, and I don't really understand who these guitars are for. But the reality is I've never owned one. I've never really played one outside of just a few strums here and there, so I don't have an informed opinion. I just have speculation. So today I went to my local big box guitar store and spent $1,000 on this Player Series Acoustasonic Telecaster so that I could put it through its paces and developed an informed opinion on this guitar. They're pretty popular, and the people that own them for the most part seem to be really happy with them. So what am I missing? So we're gonna play it both direct and unplugged and through an amplifier, and then I'm gonna produce a track with it to try and use it in a real creative musical context to see if owning one of these things will actually change my mind or not. With a streamlined feature set, this powerful guitar represents the ultimate in versatility and creative inspiration. 2 pickup systems allow you to flip seamlessly between pristine electric and acoustic voicings, while a naturally resonant Telecaster body shape offers rich acoustic tones when unplugged. All right, so volume, blend, select and or blend between A and B voices, and voice selector 1, 2, and 3. Turn it up like that. Louder. In order to give this a fair shake, I really want to understand the ins and outs of this thing and how it works, which is why I am reading the manual, RTFM. So switch, actually, you know what, let's just plug it up. How about that? So we're going DI, and one of my favorite mic pre's, it's the Great River MP500V. It's basically like a Neve style mic pre. 3A is a mahogany small body short scale based on an iconic pre-war design. This model offers plenty of warm, dry, and vibrant mid frequencies with a focused sound and tight low end. 3B is a rosewood dread balanced across the spectrum with crisp highs and balanced low end. This is the classic American sounds. A is all the way back here, B is all the way forward. All right. Okay, so evidently this is the mahogany small body short scale. Okay, so here's the Dreadnought. I mean, okay. Kind of sounds like an acoustic. Now, pickup selector 2, Lofi Clean is 2A, uses the unaffected sound of the under saddle pickup to create a unique lo-fi tone. 2B is Lo-Fi Crunch, adds dirt to the sound of the under saddle pickup to replicate the sound of double tracking electric and acoustic guitar. Yeah, that I don't like. That to me sounds like the worst part of an acoustic guitar that's plugged up. I never like the sound of a piezo like under saddle pickup, because it seems like it doesn't matter how good the guitar is, that style of pickup is installed in. It just always makes it sound the same. That like harsh, digital sounding hi-fi thing. That doesn't sound good. Now, position 1 is when we get to the Tele pickup. Position 1A produces classic Fender Tele tones via the Tim Shaw design noiseless pickups. And then 1B is the fat noiseless Tele pickup. Turns up the power to produce searing lead tones. Okay. So evidently this is the Tele sound. I don't know. I think what I need to do is write a track using only this and see if I can find a use for all of these different sounds. Can I find a place in a real sort of musical situation that fits sort of the style and the sound of this guitar? Okay, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna set up a cab down here and we're gonna mic it up, and both so I can listen to it through a real amp, but also because for the track, I want to be able to mic up and use some real amp sounds rather than like a modeler or the aux box or something. So I've got my 2-rock cab, and then I've got a speaker cable run all the way from the control room upstairs into my amp heat switcher, so I can just switch between amps at will. I'm really curious actually to see how the Tele setting on that guitar compares to my custom shop Tele, like an actual Telecaster. You can help me mic up? Yeah, thank you. Probably put a 57 and... Actually, no, it was cool. We did when Dylan was here, is I used my... This is the first microphone I ever bought, like 11 years ago. It's an Aventone CV12, so it's like a clone of a C12. $500, but it's a tube mic, tube condenser that sounds really good on guitar amps, so...
And it's got the world's most complicated
mount. It has the worst shock mount in the world. Oh jeez. That's why I leave it on the shock mount, because it's such a pain in the butt to put on and take off. So you shouldn't leave your mics out like this. It's not good practice, but you know, it'll be fine. I've just sort of been hating on this thing for a few years without actually giving it a fair shake. And so that's what we're attempting to do. Give it a really good amp setup, really good mic setup. See if my distaste for this thing is justified or if I'm just being a jerk. I'm sure people will still think I'm being a jerk either way, but... Chris, you remember that time? The first day you showed up for work and we were doing this and you burned a hole in my tweed?
What do you mean I burned a hole in your tweed? You gave me like a 200-watt LED bike light to look inside of your tweed cabinet. That's your fault.
So this is our mic setup. This is our cab setup. We're gonna go upstairs, get patched in, and see what this sounds like. Yeah, I mean that's the sound. But I mean, of course, like there's basically nothing similar between these two guitars. This is solid body with a traditional Tele bridge, a traditional Tele bridge pickup and the wiring and everything. That is a hollow body with a acoustic bridge and saddle on it with acoustic strings. I guess I just don't understand why this guitar exists. Like, why did Fender put so much R&D into something that, in my opinion, doesn't really do anything well? Like, it's not a good acoustic. It's not a good electric, especially with the American version. I think that $2,000 would be better spent buying a $1,000 Telecaster or Stratocaster or electric guitar, and then a $1,000 acoustic guitar. You're gonna be happier with both rather than full price on one of these. Now this is the Player Series, so with the sale, I ended up paying right at $1,000 out the door for this, but man.
The thing that was kind of odd to me is like all the videos we watched about it that were specifically made by Fender, they had all these players or like touring guys talking about having to use it as like, oh, there's a bridge in a song that needs an acoustic part and like I have to switch really fast.
I've played gigs where certain parts of the songs are acoustic and certain parts of the songs are electric, and I've never needed this. And that's the thing, is like, I think this is a solution in search of a problem. But my point still is that for those of you that play at home for enjoyment, you play as your hobby and how to unwind after work, I just don't think this is a good way to spend your money. I spent $1,000 on this and I don't feel great about it, to be honest with you. Like, and I don't want to like completely just shit on this thing. I think there are some redeeming qualities to it. It has a sound, and I think there is a use for this sound. I think in the right context, this sound could be useful. But like, for example, if, let's just say I throw on some modulation and a little bit of reverb from the amp, right? So we get some spring reverb going and some cool modulation. I think there are some cool sounds to be had here with like the lo-fi sound on the pickup, right? You can do like a... Like, that's a cool sound, right? Like, I could get that sound with just about any one of my electric guitars, for example. Now, one thing you could do if you wanted to get fancy is like, let's try one of the acoustic sounds through this sort of setup. So we've got the Dreadnought model going here. Yeah, so I mean, that's kind of neat, right? Or we can go with the piezo sound. Okay, so I've just gotten to the end of the edit here, and I have a few thoughts to wrap up on. When I started making this video, I was really hoping that my mind would be changed about this guitar. I don't like making content that is negative, because the reality is, even though this guitar is not for me, and I don't really understand it or like it, I know that, one, there are a lot of people out there that own these that do like it and do appreciate it, as well as the people at Fender who spent years working on this concept and developing it. People worked really hard on this, and I don't like being someone online who is just shitting on it. But I have to share my opinion, I have to be honest. I love Fender. I love what they've done for the music industry over the past 70 plus years. I love the Telecaster. I love many of their amp designs, and I like a lot of the new stuff that they're doing now. Not all of it, but a lot of it. But this, to me, just feels like a gimmick. I just don't understand it. I don't know why this is needed, and I can't recommend anyone spend their money on this thing. Now, again, that's just my opinion, and I'm sure plenty of you out there disagree with me. Let me know in the comments section. But I started this video hoping that my mind would be changed by the Acoustasonic. That's why I went out and bought one with my own money. I wanted to like this thing, and I just don't. So I'm gonna be returning it. But like I said, we all have different opinions on this. I'd like to hear yours in the comments section down below. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, leave a like. If you'd like to support this channel, you can check out links to some of my video courses in the description box down below. And if you sign up for my email list down below, you'll actually get a $20 gift card, which goes towards any of my video courses on my website. So if you're interested, check that out. My name is Rhett Shull. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.